plan to stop the chemical, physical, and emotional mutilation of our youth. Plan to stop the chemical, physical, and emotional mutilation of our youth. On day one, I will revoke Joe Biden's cruel policies on so-called gender-affirming care. Ridiculous. A process that includes giving kids puberty blockers, mutating their physical appearance, and ultimately performing surgery on minor children. Can you believe this? I will sign a new executive order instructing every federal agency to cease all programs that promote the concept of sex and gender transition at any age. I will then ask Congress to permanently stop federal taxpayer dollars from being used to promote or pay for these procedures and pass a law prohibiting child sexual mutilation in all 50 states. It'll go very quickly. I will declare that any hospital or healthcare provider that participates in the chemical or physical mutilation of minor youth will no longer meet federal health and safety standards for Medicaid and Medicare and will be terminated from the program immediately. Furthermore, I will support the creation of a private right of action for victims to sue doctors who have unforgivably performed these procedures on minors.
Somebody needs to get laid or something. It is weird. It is very, very weird. It's like I remember going back to, I want to say 2007, 2008, and I started to become an activist, seeing how things really need to improve for our community and stuff. And for a while there, especially as we got into the Obama era, that things were going to start, picking up. Sure, we had to deal with, the whole marriage equality thing, which, everybody thought was basically just like, the only thing that really had to be done. But I remember being in Palm Springs years later when SCOTUS ruled that the whole Prop 8 thing was unconstitutional. And so I remember being at a rally in Palm Springs, and I remember bumping into these two gay guys, and they were like saying like, "Oh, great, yeah, marriage equality, it's here, it's here at last. Yay, we can finally get married. The fight's over." And then I just remember just turning around and saying like, "Are you fucking shitting me? We are nowhere near over." 2015, from 2008 to 2015 was like the whole fight, mainly for marriage equality. But the fight was not yet over, not by a long shot. It was still a thing where even if you still have marriage equality, you could still get married in the morning, lose your job in the afternoon, and then basically get kicked out of your home by supper time, But that was just basically rights for the L and the G. We still had the transgender rights that still need to come into play. We still had a lot of transgender people out there, getting kicked out of the families, getting kicked out of school, living on the streets, getting killed because they're transgender. And the only way that they could make ends meet is going to sex work, and all the things that went with it, and so the fight was far from over. Far from over. And especially what was going to happen in the next year. We're talking about 2015. Now we're going into 2016. And we all know what happened in 2016. And I think we all were like in this kind of state of, in our minds, like saying, oh, Donald Trump running for president. Oh, isn't that cute? Isn't that cute? Donald Trump running for president. Oh, he'll never win, but hey, that's a good. Sorry, let's let's try this again. Sorry, my camera has been acting up with this computer a lot, so it's been making me go in and out a lot. So sorry about that. But yeah, there was a thing where we were all laughing in 2016. Oh, isn't that a darling? You know, Donald Trump is running for president. He'll never get elected. You know, Hillary Clinton has this in the bag. Boy, were we wrong. We were totally fucking wrong. Because then we had to deal from 2017 all the way to 2020 with a fucking asshole as president doing a lot of shit against a lot of people, against Muslims, against Mexicans, against blacks, you name it, people were targeted, including the transgender community people. Including the transgender community, we were always targeted, especially by the Republicans. And especially when, you know, some type of victory starts to happen with the Democrats, you know, the Republicans, you know, they get some type of, something up their ass, and they're like, we don't like that, like these people are getting, that, the Democrats are winning. Let's target the transgender community. Let's continue to target the trans community, And, but luckily in 20, well, even when Biden, became president, you know, it was a thing where the Republicans were all like, damn, Donald Trump did not get reelected and Biden is now president. Let's go after the transgender community again. Sure, we're dealing with a pandemic. You know, people around us are dying. But hey, let's go after those transgender people again. um, yeah. And so now this guy, he's out there now. He's like saying, "Hey, I'm gonna run for president again. I'm gonna try again. And when I do, I'm gonna get rid of the transgender people once and for all. I'm gonna make sure that nobody could get access to gender affirming care. I'm gonna make sure that nobody gets to have their surgeries and stuff like that. Anybody that gives these surgeries away, we're gonna penalize them and all this kind of stuff." He's basically trying to wipe out the T from the LGBTQ community. Um, so yeah, this is a very big, serious threat. Um, and it was a thing where I remember when shithead got elected, we did have like a lot of people commit suicide because they felt that they're going to be entering an America that wasn't there for them. We lost Leah Alcorn. Remember her? We lost her. We lost many other trans youth, um, because we're entering this whole administration that was not for us. And that's that really saddens me that there were people in our community that just didn't feel that they they weren't going to matter, that they had to take their own lives because they felt that they were being left behind. Um, that's why every year, every November, we have to observe this day called Transgender Day Remembrance. Just seeing the many amount of people in our community that also are getting killed because of this rhetoric that's being put out by Donald Trump and his Republicans, that people are believing that they're targeting us. Basically, because we're in a way we're going through a genocide right there. People were killing us. Trans people of color were getting killed almost every day, and it's sad. And um, so it's like we really have to double down, especially when it comes to 2024. We need to double down on voter registration, get more people um, to vote blue, more people to register as Democrats. Um, we just got so much work to do ahead of us. Um, and we also have to double down on the support of leaders like myself that are still being out there, still making things happen. Last year, I was part of a really great team that made sure that Senate Bill 923 happened, which was the Gender Affirming Care Act here in California. We spent a lot of months getting it through, all the proper channels, talking to many lawmakers throughout California, to a lot of insurance companies, even talked to our oppositions about things. And, and by August, September, um, Governor Newsom put it into law. And now we're still working on the implementation of it, which we know is going to be a lengthy process, but we're still going to get it done. Um, but this is where we really need to double down on the support of leaders like myself, like um, Andrea Jenkins, Danny Skinny, Eli Ehrlich, um, so many leaders, and stuff. And um, I know I even have a Patreon up. I need to really actually find where the Patreon is, because I haven't promoted it for a while. But if you want to support the work that I'm doing, I could let you know. As a matter of fact, if you, yeah, um, I'll let you guys know how you can support me. Just inquire with them, and I'll let you know how you can support the work that I'm doing. Because knowing what's coming up around the bend next year, the 2024 election, a lot of us leaders are really going to need to be on our feet. We really need to be out there getting ready for um, the next election year. So just know that I'm going to be out there fighting. A lot of us are going to be out there fighting. We need to make sure that this genocide um, threat that Trump and his people are going to be putting on us never happens. Because I remember before Obama became president, before Obamacare ever happened, I couldn't qualify for any health insurance. I tried getting it. I tried to gain it to IHP. I wasn't being approved and stuff. And so, but if it weren't for the Affordable Care Act, if it weren't for Obamacare, I probably would have been dead already. Because I know that I was in dire need of health insurance. I was in dire need of access to see a doctor and stuff like that. And the Affordable Care Act did that for me. It allowed me to finally go see a doctor, to get the medical care that I needed to survive. And so Um, God, it's hard to think that basically 10 years ago, there would have been a reality where I would not be talking to you right here, right now. I would have been dead. I would not have been here on this earth at all anymore. But now, because of great politicians like Barack Obama and Joe Biden, I'm able to talk to you right here, right now, on these platforms. I'm streaming through Twitch, my trans community project page on Facebook, and my YouTube page um, today because I was able to continue to live, and I'm I don't take any of these opportunities, these health opportunities for granted. I I'm so blessed that I'm able to be here with you all today. So yeah, so I'm going to go out there. I'm going to be out there fighting the good fight. If you want to support me in Car Within, I will let you know how you can support my work. Um, and for everybody that's listening, thank you so much for really, supporting me and making me feel like I matter. So thank you so much. Have a great night and trans lives forever.